Start streaming. All right.
We're back.
Back at it.
All right.
Back at it. Hopefully this is a better connection. Yeah. The replay just cuts us off like 17 minutes into it, and we've been going more like 40. So
I was say I probably spent 17 minutes talking about talking about just the latest season of Dimension 20.
right. That's
just
okay.
to segue that though.
Yeah.
You have a whole season of Make Some Noise, and that's
Yes.
always worth.
I did.
Checking out.
I did. I had seen the first episode of this season. Maybe they put it up.
Is
on
that
YouTube.
the one with Lou and them? And it's like now more something about milkshake.
I think so. And
that
then
so good.
I looked, and I cheated, and I seen that the Noise Boys were back for the last episode of the season. So I watched that one. I jumped to the last one.
Sure. Oh yeah.
It's
anytime
the Noise
Boys. Yeah.
But
it's the whole reason the show exists.
Yeah. And it was fun. So I do have a whole season of that though to watch, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, just make some noises. Game Changers, I'm sure it's very hard to come up with new ideas constantly, but it's such a good idea because if they come up with something that works well enough, they can spin it off to its own show. And crowd control shows that doesn't always work, or at least when you mess with the formula too much. But I was so excited for crowd control. Anyway.
Are they even making more of those, or are they just kind of?
I don't know. I got real around the time I canceled it. I got real irritated, and it was partially because of crowd control. And so I canceled my subscription, and I stopped following it because it was real contentious on Reddit too.
Oh yeah,
it's just such a good idea, and the execution just felt like. Man, the episode of Game Changer that it came from worked so much better than the show they made out of it. And I don't really understand why, but
sure,
whatever. If they could nail it down in the formula better, like the production, which is one of those cases where, and you can kind of feel it occasionally in Game Changer episodes that you could tell the recording went long, is they're edited so heavily. Like you could tell they're editing so much down into such a small, too small a time length to fit it. And it's like, just give it an hour. Clearly, like whoever's doing the editing has to do some heavy lifting just to make that whole episode feel cohesive because they're cutting so much out. Give it an hour. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute show.
Sure.
But that was kind of one of the big problems is it was so obvious and it felt very jarring. But whatever. Then again, I imagine editing down a whole bunch of like crowd work, comedian crowd work, is not necessarily easy.
Was it like that last? No, it had been the first episode. Don't wake standards and practices.
Yeah.
Where he gets edit control at the end.
That one was fun. I like that one. I like that one a lot, and I feel like
really good.
Allie pushed it a bit with their substance use, but I feel like otherwise, the contestants didn't push things as far as maybe they expected them to, which I get. They're trying to be professional.
I did love how like Lou, how Lou found that one guy out in the parking lot and carried in his groceries, and then he just became part of the show. And like part of me is like, did they have that set up? Because like, how would you know if somebody was actually out there?
Right. You have to chance it. Yeah. Dude was a good sport. Plus, that is risky
too.
That is risky because you don't know who you're pulling in there.
No.
Um, oh, what was the night shift one? I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they maybe struggled to like really nail what the game of it was. Like they had the concept,
Sure, yeah.
but the fact that they brought in Ron Perlman and
Right.
the whole thing was just like ignore him. That so they just brought him in so that to be a distraction to them. Otherwise, like the whole thing was he was just to be ignored. That was so funny.
Right. That was awesome. Yeah. And that's where you can see like Dropouts actually making some strides because of showing up on like what was it? Were they on The Rookie or whatever? They were
Oh yeah,
on a
yeah,
show recently,
yeah,
and then now they're pulling in Ron Perlman. It seems like they're able to like I don't know. They're able to play it fast and loose. Oh my goodness, the part where Allie had to do the voiceover for Steamboat Willie. I was like, oh man, okay.
yeah. That was good.
That one's probably not as big a swing, since it's public domain and all, but like
Still.
it seems like they've got the money to take a few more risks.
Yeah, yeah. And if anything, Sam could just ask on social media for companies that are willing to become sponsors. It's so amusing.
Yeah.
Like last season, they had that episode where LinkedIn was like, it was obviously like LinkedIn advertisements, but the whole thing was like, yeah, that way they could get the money to give all, or that's how they got all the money to give to Jacob. It was that episode.
Right.
But before, like quite a while before that episode aired, like Sam just posted publicly online looking for companies to sponsor an episode. And that's where that LinkedIn thing came from. So people knew like something was coming with that. And that's very amusing to me that he didn't have like behind closed doors connections to do it. He just posted on social media.
I love that he's posted that thing about password sharing. I was like,
yeah,
that's awesome. I've not seen any company come out publicly and say that's okay.
Right. It's smart, especially right now. It's smart to take a stance like that. Hey, let's talk about a little bit of. I don't have a good. Oh, hi, you're back. You disappeared on me for half a second.
You disappeared on me too. I don't know.
Weird. Okay, well, we're still rolling, I guess, or we're just talking. We're having a conversation. Who's this show for? You and me. I don't even know if anybody else
basically
can listen.
Yeah. We got a subscriber. One.
We got one in the last month. Yep.
Hey. Moving on up.
So we'll get to it eventually. X-Men 97. We're three.
We've got some excellent content for you here later. Are we there?
Yeah, we're there. Let's do it.
Let's examine.
What's
going on here?
Just like a week or two ago, no, it had to be longer. If they've got 3 episodes out, not long ago, I was thinking about the show and I was like, when is season 2 happening? And then today you messaged like episode 2 of season 2 is really good. And I was
they dropped all 3 at once. That's how they opened the season. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, no, it came out on July 1st, I want to say. So it's not like it's not like it's been out for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, just a heads up. I mean, we're not going to get too deep into the story. I don't even know if I could at this point. It's so timey-wimey, this show. Man,
it's pulling on so many different things, like so many different little mini series and storylines and whatnot. Yeah.
It's so, I guess convoluted is a word I could use for it. It doesn't seem, it's not frustrating to watch, but it just feels like one of those, like once you get so far into the weeds with time travel, it just feels like all you're doing is digging yourself deeper, and there's no possible way you could ever come out to where you started or even the idealized version of where you started. It's just going to be some completely new place every time. And that feels like
Right.
they've passed that quite a while ago.
Yeah. Which is weird because it's like the X-Men universe likes to do that too. Like it's like okay, so the future is this, and it's Sentinels run the joint, you know, or the future is this, and Apocalypse runs the joint, you know, or the future is this, and it's like the X-Men run the joint, but they're like evil versions of what the X-Men were supposed to be, you know.
Well, in this, they've got three three groups of people working in three distinct specific time periods. Almost 10,000 years between them. Not quite that far, but like thousands and thousands and thousands of years apart. And like in the future, the utmost future that they're in, they're like, well, it seems like we've got this set up, but the past is still being written. It's but like how? You're in the future. You would know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that whole thing of time travel where it's like it's all being written at the same time, even though it's literally not, because it's time travel. Like they're working in the past at the same time as the people working in the future. It doesn't make sense, but that's all right. It's fun.
This season is kind of hammy in the way that they just keep hammering that whole, we've got to get him back to the 1990s.
Dude, that first episode is like, you got to get X-Men back to where the 1997. I was like, oh my God. All right.
Yeah, they just got to really hammer the date home.
1990s. You know? Look into the camera.
Even the bad guys are like, we've got to get back to where the X-Men were at their weakest. The 1990s.
Yeah, I laughed every
and it's
time.
Like it's like normally that kind of cheese would be like so grating, but at the same time I'm just like I love it. They're just owning it.
Yep. That's kind of part of what, at least for me, works with X-Men 97 is you've got that cheat. Everything that comes out of we don't get a whole lot of Wolverine, but everything that comes out of Wolverine, it's just that like homespun Wolverine, like sayings he has, and it's so funny because it's like campy and cheesy, but then at the same time the show will hit you with some like kind of heavy things, and it's like, oh, like it's such a weird balance of this show, but that's part of the appeal for me. It works. It truly is a Saturday morning cartoon.
Felt like I needed.
Sorry, go ahead.
I almost felt like I needed to go back and rewatch the end of season 1 because of how much happened at the very end. Because you're like, wait, they had this knockdown drag out with Magneto to the point where he pulled, the adamantium right out of Wolverine, and yet here they are. I mean, like Wolverine and them are not on the, like Magneto and Wolverine are not in the same group right now. But still, like,
right.
Xavier and Magneto are on kind of the same page. Again, all of a sudden, and then Wolverine is in that feral state, sort of, that he was in the comics, but not as bad.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, he was like downright a caveman for a little while when they tried to put the adamantium back into him and it rejected it, and it was just like it threw him into almost this caveman feral state,
right? Okay,
with that same kind of costume that he's wearing.
Yeah, they did. Professor X and Magneto, they're in a toxic relationship. They're on again, off again. And they've been in when we finally pick up with them, they've been in the past for, it seems like a few months, at least 4 months. Some amount of months were mentioned at some point. So they kind of made up for a bit.
And Magneto's all talking sweet in Apocalypse's ear, like, hey, you could be a god. And then he was like, but then he goes back to Xavier. He's like, no, baby, it's all about the dream.
He can
it's all about your dream.
It's all. I noticed that it's all about your dream, but at the same time, like, he clearly doesn't still agree with his dream, but that's what he's working to accomplish. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so you mentioned, I get the impression you didn't love the third episode.
Not well, I mean, it was hard, after I loved the second episode. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
episode was practically made for me in a
yeah,
lot of ways because X Factor was my team,
right.
like, granted, they didn't give Multiple Man, I think, even a single speaking line in this, but I just pop anytime he's on the screen,
I know you love
so
him, and I was initially, because I think you see him in the intro, in the like
Mhm.
introduction they did, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, Jesse's gonna love this, and then like he shows up for like a scene, a shot, and then he's gone. I was like,
yeah.
oh man, that's how they always treat him.
I I still love though how like episode 2 was just my jam from the beginning to the end because I love how it is blocked out. Like you have that scene where it's like Havoc and the government sponsored X Factor team
Yeah,
are there and they're like, no, we're definitely the good guys. And I was like, that's such a good line for them as like because that was always the running thing about X Factor is like they're doing the best they can, but like everybody hates them. Like the mutants don't get it, the humans don't get it. Like nobody really wants this team.
right, right.
Yeah.
Uh, what happened in the first episode? Just vaguely, I can't.
First episode's in the future. You get all the Ascani
Right.
son stuff.
Oh, right, right. Oh,
You
that
get
had,
Nathan as kind of a
yeah,
boy.
my
Yeah.
favorite cheese.
We
Oh
get
no,
that Wolverine's on that team, so you get like the bone claws in the cyber hound, and then he just like the claws just break off and then they just grow back and I was like, "Ooh,
that
okay."
that was cool. We also get Storm harvesting solar power,
Yeah.
commanding the cosmos. Uh, that was
Yeah.
cool. I man, and I know it's because it's a bit nostalgia. I love one, the color palette, both the first two episodes.
Mhm.
I love the color palette of the 90s X-Men stuff. And it's also still very 90s. There's a lot of greens and purples, and like it's
Mhm.
excellent. Uh, and I love the look of the X-Men future stuff. Just the look of the
Yeah.
buildings and just the, yeah, man, so good. Like aesthetically on
Oh,
point. And it feels
so
like,
many Easter eggs in that episode too. Like you
yeah,
get so like I mentioned the costume that Wolverine's wearing, which is from that primal state that he was in. But you also have like I want to say that Jean Grey and Cyclops are basically wearing their X Factor outfits,
right.
but
Yeah, yeah.
also they're in the future and they're doing the whole there was a Phoenix and Cyclops mini series where this all basically happened, where they go to the future and they basically get to raise Nathan for a while they're in the future. Um, and then Ascani's son, not Ascani's son, uh, what's her name? Mother Ascani or whatever. She's she's voiced by Gates Faden, who is Beverly Crusher in
Oh, okay. Okay.
Star Trek: The Next Generation. And also that character is basically Rachel Summers. Uh, so the Phoenix, the one that was in Excalibur in the 90s
Right.
when
Okay.
Claremont was writing it. Yeah. So
Mm.
there's like all sorts of weird little Easter eggs in just the first episode alone.
Um, yeah, watching this, I was like thinking about our conversation. I was like, Jesse's gonna have he's gonna have all these things. Like, because there's so much of the, like, I don't know. I remember I read through a bunch of the Chris Claremont stuff at some point in Grawlix history.
Yeah.
Um, but you were the man with a lot of the like the X-Men information. I was like, there's gonna be so much Jesse picks up on. And I'm just clueless about it.
Well, I mean, like that whole thing in season 1 with Storm, then you would have been ripe for that because that was prime. That was
Right,
prime Chris Claremont right there.
right. Um,
And they kind of continue that through line of the romance between her and Forge in this season still.
I sh- the I think the initial moment of cheesiness from this, I think is actually from episode 2, because they do jump back to the setting for a little bit in episode 2. So
Oh,
I'll
do
say
they?
that
Yeah.
there's a moment of cheesiness in every episode, but the one in this one is just, and it was a good moment, but it's like they reveal to Nathan that they're also, at a certain point I was like, wait, you guys clearly have this relationship with this kid. You haven't told him yet that you're his parents. Like, I assume they've been there for a while at that when we pick up with them. But they reveal it on the ship, instill confidence in him, and he is able to break out. And then I think the next scene, he says something to Cyclops. He's like, all right, Dad. It's just like so fast. Like one scene later, and he's already calling
Right.
him Dad. And
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Scott and Gene, they look at each other and look, and I was like, I mean, it's good, but also like, wow, that was fast. The kid was just ready. Anybody could have walked up and be like, we're your parents. And he'd be like, Mom, Dad.
Yeah.
But also, maybe it was just obvious.
Well, I mean,
too.
like the way that they've played this, in the cartoon is actually less convoluted than it was in the comics, because originally when Cable showed up, it was just Cable. Like they didn't even out him as Nathan,
Right.
and it wasn't until like later that they were like, oh yeah, it's Nathan, and then they hadn't even done the miniseries where
Mhm.
Gene and Scott had gone to the future to raise him. So like it's not even revealed that you're like, there's this whole extra layer of timey-wiminess in the comics because it's all out of order.
And also, I feel like Disney's still putting a decent amount of money in the animation for this, because all 3 episodes, although I feel like the first 2 episodes, I don't know. Yeah, all 3 episodes had pretty decent fight scenes and various action scenes with some kind of rockin' animation.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, we got to talk about episode 2, how like Jubilee, like she got some Disney money thrown at her. Because,
Yeah.
not only did she have an awesome action scene where we get to see her powers used in some ways that I don't think they even tried to do in the comics yet.
Right.
Like they did some cool stuff with her,
Mhm.
and then they set it all to some prime 90s, like, I don't even know what genre Veruca Salt was.
Yeah.
It's like kind of screamo before it was screamo, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess at the time it would have just been like alternate rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. Was it Volcano
It's like
Girls was the song?
yes. Yeah, Volcano Girls. And it was like there was that scene in I want to say it was Captain Marvel, where it's like the whole I'm just a girl in the world, like they had that scene. Take note, MCU, because the animated just nailed the needle drop in a way that y'all haven't figured out yet.
I liked how
you haven't figured out since James Gunn left.
I like how they went into the needle drop too, where the
Yeah.
the alarm started, the like prison alarm started sounding, and then it sped up, picked up pace, and I was like, huh. And then the high hats of the song start to the same tempo, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a fun way to segue into the song. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that episode. It's so interesting because in my mind, like the X-Men, the original animated series was my first real in, because I'm the perfect age, my first real in to the X-Men. And that show starts with Jubilee. Despite the fact that she's really kind of a minor character. And as the series went, she's stayed kind of a minor character. But in my mind, Jubilee should seem like she should be a more important character. The show started with her.
Yeah.
She's in the arcade. She gets chased by a sentinel or whatever.
Right.
But I've noticed X-Men 97 makes a point occasionally. There's been the first season, there was at least one episode, maybe 2 episodes, a couple episodes where she takes center stage. and this episode, even though she like the whole episode didn't revolve around her, I feel like put a lot of focus on her. And the episodes that do are they're real fun. They make a point to make them more poppy and upbeat and fun. Well, kind of upbeat. I was a little surprised when they murked that guy, but
Right.
they murked War.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and then they also had like I don't know, like it was that whole episode was fun for me in a lot of ways because first of all they like changed the title card.
The whole intro.
What's the team? Yeah, like the cold open kicked right into like, well, who's gonna save us then? You know, like what team's gonna save us, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 and it's the X-Force.
They redid, they
like the whole thing,
all new intro in the same exact style, but all new intro X-Force. Yeah, I love that. That was great. I had to message you about that as soon as I seen it. And then the third episode, moment of cheesiness for episode number 2 is when we jump back to the future and we kind of revisit that scene where Nathan gets the computer, whatever. He gets the cooler arm with the computer. He puts his arm through the little loop thing and they're having like the computer's like, I'm sorry, but you got to send the X-Men back to the 90s right away. And he's like, of course. And of course, Cyclops is like, no, but our son. Cyclops the TV Cyclops is such a cheeseball because at one point he's like, but we need to protect the future. And he's like, I need to protect my son. It's just like, of course, Cyclops, you drama queen. What are you doing? And it's a combination of the voice acting. It's not bad, but it's just like so like, that I laughed out loud at that. But I need to protect my son. And then episode 3 is part 1, which I noticed in the title card. But once it got to the end, I didn't love part 3 as much. Just partially the setting is like, okay, we're doing some ancient Egypt, robot stuff and whatnot, and nobody should ever I don't know why they keep trusting Magneto for anything. At one point, they're like, we'll just have Professor X read this guy's mind so we can figure out the thing. And he's like, I don't want to use my powers because it might disrupt something in the past. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Just do it. And they did it anyway.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly helpful. But
no, not at all.
No.
This is also based on a miniseries, and it was like the rise of Apocalypse, and I didn't particularly love that miniseries anyways. So like watching it again, I guess like it goes faster.
Sure.
That's one like point in its column, you know. And we get like Bishop goes back in time to save them. But he like really waits, like I don't know, like if he was there the whole time and just trying like biding his time or whatever. But then you don't get Bishop there to save them until the very end of the episode.
Yeah, when exactly did he show up? Because if it was any amount of time before
I guess at the end
decided to help them out, it's like, dude, what were you doing? Why?
Yeah, but he was like skulking around in a cloak, and I don't know if he's skulking around in a cloak because he's in the desert, or if he's skulking around in a cloak because he's got to like assess the situation for a week.
Right. Man, if they'd have just sent if it was the X-Force that got sent back to that period, I think they could have took care of things.
Oh man, just let Cable train everybody the way he trained Jubilee,
right?
And you just wouldn't even have a problem.
Yep. Apocalypse can be taken care of, done and dusted.
It's also funny that they didn't do like time travel. Like the first rule of time travel is that if you have a time machine, you go back in time and you kill Hitler. And then as soon as they see Apocalypse, and they're like, nah, we can change him.
We could fix him.
we can change him.
Magneto seen him as like, I can fix him.
You got half of them, and they're like, "No, you can't change the future." And then Magneto's like, "But I can.
I did like that
I can
scene,
change him."
and I'm sure I know it was intentional, but that scene where after like whatever they capture that guy, and the little group of X-Men are sitting there, and they're kind of debating, like arguing, like this is not a good idea. And of course, Magneto's on is like,
Mhm.
yeah, we can whatever. And then Apocalypse comes in and is talking to them, and he says something, and he's kind of got even like upbeat in his voice, but then he, looks
Yeah.
at the group, and you could tell like four of them out of that whole party are just like staring at him silently, just like you could
Right.
tell he could feel the loathing coming at him from across that
Right.
table. It would have been so awkward.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a leap for him to be like, "You guys have been lying to me."
Right.
And now I'm
Right.
gonna kill a dude because I'm Apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a beheading in that episode as well. That was a little
Yeah.
surprising. Now I know we talked about it. I mean, it's kind of the whole thing with the show, but it really is a 90s Saturday morning cartoon just aged up. It still
Yeah,
retains
aged up for the people who were there.
all the cartoony cheesiness, but like now the X-Force is gonna murk a guy, and this guy is gonna decapitate a guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in some sense, it's like, oh, thank goodness they did X-Force this way now, because
Right,
like, if
right.
can you imagine them trying to tone it down for Saturday morning cartoons? Well, it would have been so campy and awful.
I mean, they couldn't even have like of course, I guess you can't have a stabbing, but they had to be so careful with how they handled Wolverine. They couldn't even have Wolverine like directly
Right.
attacking guys with his claws on Saturday morning cartoons. Um,
Right. Yep.
but
Robots only.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but I do also appreciate they haven't they go real hardcore at times, but they didn't go like when Spike TV picked up Ren and Stimpy and was like, do whatever you want, totally
Oh yeah.
unrated, and they
Right.
excuse me, they went so far in like the wrong
Mhm.
direction to where it's like
Sometimes some constraints are good. Yeah.
right, right, and I feel like I mean there's some expectations to keep it somewhat reeled in, but I'm assuming there's also like a lot of self-imposed
Sure.
restrictions that the creators of the show have, which is smart. Um, yeah. So that third episode, I was bummed. Like, not my favorite, but I was bummed when it was over. And it was like to be continued, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's no more now.
Yeah. On one hand, it's like, ah, what a bummer one to end on. And also it was perfect. It was a perfect one to end on because it basically tied the first three episodes together.
Yeah,
Like
it did.
each episode like highlighted one team, even if it bounced back and forth a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, and now they're all gonna be headed back to the same place. So
right.
ostensibly they're going back to the 1990s. Who knows if we'll
To the
stay there or not?
1990s. Uh,
The 1990s.
it is amusing to, although they haven't figured it out yet. And actually, I guess they didn't because Bishop showed up and he's got the ability to get them back through time. But when they,
Right.
when, in the future they made a time machine, or no, yeah, they had time travel capabilities, but then Bishop and Forge made a time machine so to send them out. And then Beast's trying to turn robots into a time machine. I was like, it's really not that hard, is it? Time travel. I know they're all supposed to
What
be
was it?
geniuses,
Yeah,
but
the original episode that had Forge in it. Basically, like the very first time that we see Forge is in the future, and it's that
right,
future where he sends Bishop back in time, and they basically use that same technology to get
right.
back in time again. So that is like, wait, did Bishop just teach Forge how to make the time machine that he made to send him back? It's
Bootstrap,
like that whole thing.
bootstrap paradox or whatever.
Right.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Where did it come from in the first place?
Yeah.
I'm glad it came back for another season. I was a little nervous.
I am too. I'm curious. I'm curious how many episodes there are. I'm curious where it's going to go. I mean, because we've already got 3, and it seems like any more, like 6 to 8 is asking a lot.
I wonder if we can.
I don't know.
I wonder if we can find out.
I want to say they posted the release schedule already, but I don't remember seeing how many there were.
Nine episodes.
Oh, 9. Okay. More than I thought, but not as many as I'd like.
Right.
I would have liked like a solid 12, like 12 sounds perfect to me.
Oh man, some of these titles. Can I give you some of the titles? Is that too spoilery? I feel like they're not necessary. Well, maybe.
Well, I mean, they're already released,
Well, of course, the next episode will be Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. After that,
right.
This one is amusing to me. Weapon X Lies and DVDs, which is obviously a play on sex, lies, and videotape, but Weapon X Lies and DVDs. Danger.exe.
Right.
Oh, is that going to be a Danger Room episode or something?
Hey-o.
Oh, the mansion's kind of trashed.
Well, what is it? Danger the character.
Oh.
You think we'll get her? I'm thinking that's got to be where they're headed there.
And then I won't go into the other episodes. I don't think they're necessary. They might be a little spoilery, or at least hint at the plot lines they're going to be pulling from comics. So I don't have to read them all out.
Okay.
But Weapon X Lies and DVDs is very unwieldy to say, but it's a very amusing title, at least in text.
Oh, and so like referencing heavy 90s vibes there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, you've been watching. I mean, we should probably wrap it up. I don't want to keep it all night, but you've been watching anything else or doing anything else?
Mainly, I've been up to date with Vampire Lestat.
Oh man.
And then that's pretty much it. Like as far as like watching, because I've been doing a lot of like dropout TV as well,
right?
But also reading some comics. I read the most recent issues of Daredevil. They're probably not the most recent anymore, but I read the first first 3 of the current run of Daredevil, and it's pretty good. It's pretty kind of creepy. Like it's one of those storylines where they're like the characters going after Matt Murdock and not necessarily Daredevil, and and the character like creepy, and their name, they didn't even have a name, and now we call them the Oracle. And they're kind of like disfigured like the Viking seers would be and whatnot. But it's been kind of fun, like that whole thing. And Spider-Man, it was like Spider-Man is involved right off the bat. And there's this whole scene where he's like, where he almost gets run over, and Spider-Man's like, we've really got to talk about how how involved you get in to your hit and run clients or whatever, like
right.
You're cutting it a little close there, pal. So I mean, like there's some fun there. I also read well, it's not the most recent, but it's the like the current iteration of Venom, the symbiote or however you say it,
right?
Has bonded with MJ.
Okay.
But like they hadn't fully bonded. So it was like MJ was almost like, it was like, fine, you're in control. And then it'd be Venom, and Venom would be doing Venom things. And then when Venom wasn't doing Venom things, then boom, MJ's in control of her life kind of thing. And so it's like having a roommate situation with the Venom. And so at the end of this issue that I read, it's the binding, like they actually bond, and you get a more MJ version of Venom. So you get basically like the Venom with the weird gold spider on him, but now it's more feminine.
Okay.
So it was okay. It
interesting.
wasn't the best. It wasn't the best writing I've seen on
Sure.
a book, but it was like, oh, that's the art was cool.
Right.
So, and that's mainly what I've been doing is a little bit of comics, and then I I picked up Final Fantasy 12 because it was on sale. Because
Okay.
basically, they did an announcement for the last third of this Final Fantasy 7 remake. So,
Okay.
like they're remaking Final Fantasy 7 to talk about the 90s.
Right.
But, like it's such a beefy game. So, like, if you're going to throw high end graphics on a game that is so immersive and so big,
Right.
like back then, those RPGs were no joke. They have had to do it in 3 installments. And so they
Oh,
announced the third installment, and they basically had like, um, you know, basically Final Fantasy sales everywhere. So it's like, oh,
sure.
I can pick up Final Fantasy 12 for like 60% off. All right, I'll do that. Uh and so I got that, and it's been an interesting just the acquiring of the game itself has become its own story, because it's like I got it for PC
Uh-huh.
because usually that's where I do my gaming, right?
Sure.
And I installed it, and it was working great, and I was like, "Oh, that's great, cool. I'm gonna enjoy this." And then I shut it off. Like I saved it, I shut it off, uh, and I come back to it the next day, and crashes.
Oh,
Just crashes on like I'm running the program, and it crashes before I can even get to the title screen. Um, and so I get digging and whatnot, and I'm like, okay. So I do all the things for that particular error. Nothing. Then I dig a little deep. It's like onion layers or
yeah.
whatever. You Google this thing, and then it's like, okay. Well, I got to Google this specific game, I guess. And so I do that, and I find a fix. But the fix is a thing you'd have to do every single time,
Oh,
because
that's not a proper
the
fix at
game
all.
does. No. And so, like, what it all boils down to is that when they when they remastered it for PC, what they did was they kept a bunch of files that are like the legacy files, old files, like for the X, so it'd be like X32,
Uh-huh.
right? And most things on your computer run at X64 or X86.
Right.
And so every time that it would pull from those X32 files, it wouldn't have enough memory to keep it going.
Oh,
Um, and then it would just crash. C++ would just crash the program then. And so I had to so then I find that, and I find the fix, but like I would have to do it every single time that I'd run the game. And then I finally found like a place that had all the mods for the game itself. So I had
mhm.
to go in, and like you could either manually do that, or they have a program that would install the mods for you.
Yeah.
But it was just like, man, all I want to do is play this game. And that's where it's like, I am by and large a PC gamer, but I get why people buy consoles, because there ain't any of this with consoles, or at least there weren't back when things had
Right.
physical media. Which I
Yeah.
which I know, PS5 just announced they're not going to make physical media anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. After announcing that they're removing like 500 and something games from their digital or movies from their digital library that people already purchased. Uh just to nail
Right.
home like you will own nothing. You will own
You
nothing.
don't you don't own anything.
Yep.
Nope.
Uh that's crazy that you have to mod the game just to keep it from crashing. Yeah, with PC stuff, I mean, more often than not, like games will work, but the problem is like every system's a little different. Every system's a little different. So that said, though, it is crazy to sell a game where there's a portion of your user base who has to mod the game to make sure it keeps working. Uh, that's a
Right.
problem. That's a problem.
And, and it's so old. Like, even though they like are selling it as remastered and new, they're not going back and patching that. Like
Right.
basically the nerds out there, they were like, this is a known issue. How do we make a permanent fix for it? And they came up with a solution, and Square Enix is like, cool. If they even noticed, you know.
I think the mod community for games is overall, it's good. It's a little bit of a double-edged blade in that, and I'd say like 80-20, 80 good, 20% bad maybe, in that there are a few companies who are like, they'll fix it themselves. They'll fix it themselves. Or why should we why should we put the
We're not
effort
going to
into
spend any more time or money on this old property.
Right.
We milked it for what it's worth already.
Like, sure, it'd probably be better if we did this, but they'll do it themselves. Some geeks will do it, and then other geeks that actually care will use their fix, and we don't have to worry about it. And that's not a great thing. It's kind of like the reputation a lot of games have, where, I mean, especially if it's a big game, don't buy it on launch day, or don't try to play it on launch day, because chances are the company still has a big patch to make it even like properly playable that's not coming out until after the game's launched. They're just trying to push it out by a certain date, you know, and that's kind of a problem too. So on the one hand, it's good that games can be patched after the fact, even on consoles now. But it also sucks because then they don't necessarily have to make a properly working game by the time launch hits. They can fix it afterwards, so long as they got enough of those, I guess, pre-order sales maybe.
Yeah. Well, and it's like so obvious too, because like these games will only they'll release on like a couple of platforms, right?
Yeah.
Like they're exclusive to PC and PlayStation. In the case of like Final Fantasy, that's typically been the case, where it's like, okay, it'll release to PlayStation first. And then later on, they'll release it to Nintendo and Xbox. And
once they've had the time to like,
it's like,
they're like, we got this stuff done now. We'll work on the ports later.
Now we can properly port it.
Yeah.
And we'll put the money out to that, because then it's a new, like a new community. It's a new revenue spike or whatever. But like, oh no, PC guys, the people who've had it since the beginning, we're not going to give you any support. Y'all figure it out. But we need that Nintendo money.
The next Grand Theft Auto, Take-Two.
Well, they announced that. Yeah, that's big news.
They annoy me for one. They did the same with the last one, but I feel like it's a bigger deal now, because I feel like PC gaming, like, it's a significant portion of the gaming audience. But yeah, it's probably going to be at least a year after it releases on consoles before it goes to PC. They did it with Red Dead 2, and they did it with the last GTA. Just kind of their thing. It's like not a priority.
Right.
And that's frustrating, because I'm done with consoles. Like, I got a decent enough computer to run things.
Well, they've priced themselves out. I was just talking to Axton about this exact thing, because he bought in on the Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, like, I played it back in the day, and I'm like, you know, for me, the polygonal graphics are kind of quaint, but like for him, he's like, oh man, I never played it this way, and I can't, you know. But he's like, in order to play it through, because he's playing it through on a PS4, the new one won't even be released on PS4. It'll be released on a PS5. So he would have to go ahead and buy a new system, and those new systems have essentially priced him out. You know,
the prices on like $150. A lot of the systems jumping that's a huge price hike. It's AI's fault.
He was looking at like used PS5s, and it was like, oh god, those are so expensive.
It's crazy.
And I was looking at like a Steam Deck, and I was like, oh yeah, man, I would love a Steam Deck. No way.
No, those are getting like $300 price jumps. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like, no, at this point, buy a computer. You know, like
Ye-
I can't afford to do
yeah.
that for a machine that only plays video games.
Part of the problem with buying a computer right now, though, too, is you're facing similar issues in that, and I think it's the
Mhm.
same reason the consoles are going up, is hard
You get the
drives,
graphics cards.
graphics card.
Yeah.
It's not even just
Chipsets.
graphics cards anymore. Yeah, RAM, like
Right.
huge RAM shortage, and hard drives.
Yep.
I was like, hard drives? Like, are you serious? Hard drives
Yeah.
is
When it's
data
all
centers.
down
It's
to
'cause
all
of
the people who are
goddamn
fighting,
data
right?
centers. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's part of it, but also like the data centers, because all the manufacturer,
Right.
there's so much money being channeled into the data centers and AI. Uh,
Mm.
so many companies banking on this, including the manufacturers themselves, because of course, like there's so much like
Right.
supposed, it's not even demand. It's speculation, but there's so much money flowing into it. Of course, the manufacturers would stand to kind of make the most. So that's where a lot of it's getting channeled to. That's why, yeah, all the chips, the chips they're expensive. But I was like, even RAM and hard drive prices are skyrocketing. That's crazy. But that's, I mean, yeah, before it was graphics cards, but now if they're looking at like all these huge data centers, which is really,
Yeah.
it feels at this point, it feels like money, some type of money laundering scheme, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're not political, but there's all sorts of news that came out that's saying, you know, people
Right.
be making money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I feel like a lot of the companies really like pushing it, like really inflating the bubble. They know it's a problem, but if they can get in there
They know it's
first
going to
and get their
burst too.
piece,
They've got to know, right?
if they can get their piece though,
They've
they might be able to skate out
they've
the other
seen this.
side.
They've seen this movie before, right? Like
Right.
we all have. We know that the bubble's going to burst. The housing market, the .com.
Yeah.
This is just the new .com bubble.
Yeah, I don't know. AI has been such a disappointment to me. It's been such a disappointment because
I'm so disappointed in you, AI.
and it's not AI's fault. So that's what I was about to say.
No.
It's the companies. Because I'm not a hater,
Yeah.
famously. Like if you've listened, not famously,
Right.
but if you've listened to me talk about it all, I'm not a hater because there's a lot of amazing potential in the technology. But of course,
Right.
it's the incrapification of everything. Companies swoop in.
Yeah.
We're not getting the new open source models like we used to a lot when it was just researchers doing this stuff. It's all
If
proprietary
anything,
stuff.
I feel like they rolled it back on
Yeah.
on OpenAI. Like it's like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like we were getting 5 before, and now it's just like, nope, free people get 4.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't feel like there's any, because at first I was like, especially like the newer models would come out and people would get to work to like, how can we make this work more efficient on more realistic systems? Like, because people in their houses, they don't necessarily have 64 megabytes of video RAM in their graphics cards, whatever. But I feel like that's not even the intention anymore because they don't want it running offline. Because online, you got all those data centers. Online, every company treats it. It's like constant microtransactions. You can't just run it on your own system. You have to pay a company to process it in their cloud, and it costs like the prices are crazy. I don't know. I just hate how it's been incorporated, and also I hate that the White House loves it, and all those a-holes love it, and they use it all the time.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep. That's amazing.
It is amazing. I do want to say one thing. I've watched several movies, and I'm not going to get into them, but I watched for the first time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which I had not seen before.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I liked it. It's very entertaining. It was different. It was different. Definitely taking I mean, stylistically, I think it's different, but it's taking a page from Spider-Verse, uh, in, but I think in a good way, not just like let's do flashy pop culture or pop art looking whatever, but it's like let's do a CG animated thing, but give it a very uh, drawn style, kind of in a way. It's very
Mhm.
stylistic. A lot of the
Almost retro,
yeah, a lot of the humans, like the
very urban.
proportions were weird, very urban. Uh, yeah, oh, I imagine there was a portion of people who were not happy about the
Oh
tone
yeah.
of
Oh yeah,
that
like, I
tone.
know there's some people who hated Splinter.
Right, right.
So,
But
which I
man,
get it. You're like that was a different take, but it was like that's the thing is I've read enough comics. I mean, we just talked about the X-Men. Like every 5 years the X-Men's future is different. You know, like
right.
sometimes Bishop is coming back in time and dead set on killing Gambit for whatever reason.
Mhm. But yeah, I thought it was fun. Well done. There was some of the action scenes
Yeah.
were awesome. I liked the style. I didn't love the style sometimes because most of the humans looked grotesque. They like intentionally like
Yeah.
distorted faces and stuff, but whatever, it's a
Yeah.
choice. Um
Right.
Visually it looked
Yeah, yeah, the
great.
mutants are almost better, like sleeker.
They're more consistently like symmetrical and normal
Yeah.
looking. Um the human yeah, the humans look like, I don't know, late 90s early 2000s Cartoon Network weird shows like Hey Arnold or something where everybody's just kind of deformed. Uh,
Right.
at one point the score, I was like, oh man, this score is pretty cool. And then I was like, wait a second, and I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's because Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score for this. I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Trent Reznor
That's
did a
right, I
Teenage
remember
Mutant
that.
Ninja Turtle score. What the hell?
Yeah, why not, you know?
Yeah.
I liked it because I read like the Archie Comics run
Uh-huh.
on Ninja Turtles, and the Mutanimals, the or whatever, yeah, the Mutanimals. That was its own little like group or whatever in that, and then that made its way into the current IDW or not current anymore, the IDW run that was really popular, and so to see a movie that was kind of based on that was fun. To see a lot of those like weird mutants, as if the
And
Ninja Turtles weren't weird.
John Cena was in that? Oh, he was Rocksteady? Okay. I didn't realize that. Seth Rogen was Bebop.
What's
That I
that?
noticed. Oh, I said John
Oh
Cena.
yeah.
I didn't realize John Cena was in that. He was Rocksteady. He did the voice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, they had some good like voice actors. Like they had big names on some of them.
And that was a case of like I wanted to watch. I didn't know what I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch something, so I pulled up one of those like
Sure.
it might have even been Pluto TV, which I hate. They're crazy with the ads. But I pulled up one of those where it's got like the live cable style guide you can go through and see what's playing. And
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, a Turtles movie I haven't seen. Okay, I'll watch that. And that's why I watched it in the first place. It was just like kind of random, like what's on TV type thing. And yeah, very surprised, pleasantly surprised. Not, I mean, I didn't expect it to suck, but it was good.
Well, and then Ice Cube is Superfly.
Yep, yep.
So good. So good.
It was a lot of fun. Um, it's really well rated. I know it did well enough to get a sequel, but I feel like recently I seen that the sequel is like up in question whether it'll actually happen.
Well, didn't they do like a show that was spun out?
Did they?
I want to say that they did.
What's the most
Or
recent?
Tales of the Mutant Mayhem or something like Mutant Mayhem Tales, something like that. Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series. So I don't know if that's like they pivoted and made it a show.
It seems like a sequel's still gonna happen.
Hmm.
perhaps next year. But whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing you can count on Ninja Turtles for is like, even if like a certain era doesn't hit, they'll just
it'll be back at some
spin
point.
it out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that will hit, like I never got in on the Nickelodeon run, but like the Nickelodeon run was a huge hit, and I caught little weird bits of what the two would be the early aughts Ninja Turtles. Was it TMNT? That run. And it was fine. They even did like a CGI movie that kind of was in between those two eras. Yeah. That was fun. I actually got that one,
Mm-hmm.
And then there was what was it? Was it Turtle? It was Turtles Forever. And I can't remember what that was about, but it was basically like they go into the multiverse of the different Ninja Turtles kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
And so you got to see some of the like the 2000s Turtles meet up with the with the ones from the 80s, and in the end they go back to the prime. They go back to the super violent black and white.
Okay,
everybody's got just a normal, and they did that whole thing, and those guys are like, you guys are all jokes.
That's hilarious. Oh man.
And was it Michelangelo from the 2000s was just like enamored with the fact that they had like their name, like the letter of their name on their belt in the 80s. It was just like, oh, like superheroes. You guys are like superheroes. You got your name, you got their M on your buckle. That's awesome.
Dude, I might have to check that out. I don't think I even knew that was a thing.
Yeah, check it. Yeah, look for.
I'm looking at pictures
I would recommend
now.
it. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, like Turtles Forever or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, Turtles Forever. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure it was maybe they ended the 2000 series with that movie or something. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where it falls, but
came out in 2009, I guess. But all right, speaking of endings, we should probably end this stream. We've been going for a while.
Oh yeah, probably.
Anything you want to mention before we bounce out of here?
I don't know. I mean, like, we should probably look at the calendar because we've got some 4th of July shenanigans.
Yep, 4th of July is
okay,
Saturday.
So next week would probably be normal for me, but then I think the 16th I might be loading in for Okamicon.
Okay, that makes sense
because Okamicon would start the next day, so I probably won't be able to stream in 2 weeks. So
okay,
next week looks okay, I think.
I'll make a note of that now. Actually, might as well, or not. Maybe I'll make a note of that later. That website is loading slow.
So that's my big thing coming up is Okamicon, and maybe I'll be talking about how I'm doing a thing next week.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have too much going on. Still doing radio show on ontidyradio.com Saturdays. I will have a show. I've been pre-recording them all anyway, but I will have a show. I'll have to record it tomorrow for the 4th. It's funny because last year I had a show that fell on the 4th of July as well. I'll treat this one similarly. Lots of punk and
because it was on Fridays, right? And now
it was on Fridays.
Saturdays.
Yep. That's about it. That's all I got going on.
But this is the 250th, so
it'll have to be extra special. The music will have to be extra angry.
Yeah.
I could just pull I'll pull a couple tracks I used last year because those messages are sadly timeless. But yeah, I'll have to find something special.
You might have to do some Gwar because they've been in the news.
Gwar, that's a good idea. They're so offensive, that Gwar.
They're so.
How dare they?
Man, I can't imagine that they would do what they've been doing since their onset.
Yeah, for decades.
for decades. Literal decades.
Every president and significant political leader gets treated exactly the same way. How could they do it again?
They've brought back presidents just so they could kill them again, like
Yeah.
Reagan.
It's so funny.
The Reaganator. That was so good.
There's always new people new people to be offended, to
Discovering Gwar,
it for the first time. It's like, dude, these guys are so old, most of them aren't even them anymore. They're different people. Like the Gwar's been around so long. Come on, you're yelling at Grandpa.
Blothar is the original. Like that's how long they've been around. They've been around so long that original members that left a long time ago have come back and put on different costumes.
Right.
I think he was the original Beefcake the Mighty from and I only know that because of This Is Gwar, the documentary they did.
Yeah, you've been kicking around for a long time when members come back or leave and then come back as different characters.
Right. Yeah, because somebody else is the new Beefcake or whatever.
Right. That's fun. But so offensive and inappropriate.
So offensive. So we can look forward to that on the Edge of the Abyss.
But we're not snowflakes.
Whoa, or political. We're not political snowflakes.
We're not political or snowflakes. All right.
Yeah.
We gotta get one more in at the end, like we do. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Grawlixpodcast.com. It's GRAWLIX podcast.com. Go there. And then promptly follow, link right back to where you're hearing this, because that's like the main outlet for the show anymore.
That's what we do.
Yep, that's what we do. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.